Hello once again and welcome. This is a limited edition set of 12 episodes of 1225 Live that we're doing in conjunction with the current sermon series at Snowdon on the book of Ruth. Thank you for joining us for these. These are meant to be supplementary or extended discussions of what we're covering as we travel through the book of Ruth together. As we consider the person of Ruth, the fact that she is a Moabite who marries twice into Israel, first to one of the sons of Naomi, and then secondly, of course, to Boaz, there is something of a problem. According to Deuteronomy 23 verse 3, Moabites were forbidden from entering into the assembly of Yahweh until the 10th generation. So how was it that Ruth, a Moabitess, could marry into Israel in the way that she does in the book of Ruth? How can Ruth be incorporated like this into Israel, into the life of Israel, and the book of Ruth not say anything explicitly critical about that? Well, as concerns Ruth's first marriage, probably to Machlon, at that point in the story, Ruth was not yet converted to Yahweh, to the faith of Israel. Her conversion happens a little bit later on in the story. Could it be, and here I'm just simply speculating, I'm not suggesting that there's a definitive answer to this, but could it be that because this Israelite man married an unconverted Moabite, that this is the reason that he dies as he does in Ruth 1 verse 5? Could it be that this marriage was in violation of the covenant in Deuteronomy 23, and the death of this Israelite was consequential? It was a consequence, it was divine judgment for that. Could it be? Again, we're not entirely sure. The text is silent on this. So it's best not to land too heavily on what we might consider to be a definitive answer. We're just raising the question here. Now, as concerns Ruth's second marriage to Boaz, which happens in Ruth chapter 4, presumably we look at this, and on the face of it at least, it seems like it could be another violation of what God had laid out in Deuteronomy 23, except this time around, there is a massive difference. At that point in the story, as Ruth and Boaz get married, Ruth has already converted to Yahweh. She is now in the life and in the faith of Israel. Presumably this means that she has renounced her Moabite gods. Now, way back in Genesis chapter 17, as God is making covenant with Abraham, God allowed for the possibility that foreigners could come into covenant with him, come into the faith of Israel. Should a foreigner put his or her faith in Yahweh, God of Israel, that person could be adopted into the covenant family of Israel. Because after all, God's whole purpose was to save the nations through the nation of Israel. And so Ruth is welcomed into the family of God, just as Rahab the Canaanite is welcomed into the family of God, just as Gentiles like you and I are welcomed into the family of God, putting our faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. So then the supposed dissonance between Deuteronomy chapter 23 and the story of Ruth marrying Boaz in the book of Ruth is really no dissonance at all. What we have here is one follower of Yahweh marrying another follower of Yahweh. So we'll leave things there for now. God bless you this week, and we'll see you back here, hopefully, Lord willing, next Monday.